Hololive production is currently out, and on this channel I like to focus on one card when a set is released to showcase what a deck can do and give some tips on how to utilize the card to the best of its potential. This is not going to be one of those episodes because we're going to talk about some absolute jank. I'm not really a cat person, I'm more of a dog person myself because I'm extremely allergic to cats to the point that my nose starts to bleed when I'm next to one, but I know a fun card when I see it. Out of context, that sounds like a rambling of a crazy person, and I'm wearing a cat shirt right now, you can kind of see. Shout out to 36 Cancel, this video's for you. You read the title, we are going to talk about the 3-2 Okayu, but before we go any further, we have to talk about what this card does. Office Revival Nekomata Okayu is a level 3 Hololive Gamer's character. Its effect is once per turn. When you use an event, this gains 2k power for the turn and climax combo. The turn that this is played from your hand, this gains the following ability until the end of the turn. On attack, you could pay 1. Mill the top of your opponent's deck, depending on how many Hololive Gamer events you have in your waiting room, multiplied by 6. That's all it does. Not even on a climax combo, but you are dependent on having those in your waiting room. So it isn't exactly like the Sayo from the extra booster set from Bang Dream, which we are going to talk about when that set comes out in English. Either way, if you have 1, you mill 6. If you have 2, you mill 12. If you have 3, you mill 18. And then if you have all 4, you mill 24. So with 4 of these in your waiting room and 2 on the field, you mill 48 cards from your opponent's deck. But if you have 3 of these with full events in waiting room, you mill 72. So around a level 3, your opponent will generally have about 25 or so cards in their deck. Maybe. The reason I say that is because their stock, level, memory, there's a lot of cards running around in the memory, the clock, and the cards on the field. Now this cannot be canceled. If your opponent hits a climax, cool. Keep going. So every time your opponent refreshes, they're gonna have to take a refresh point of damage. That's such a dumb effect, but I really do like it. So it's best to hit your opponent with this effect when there's less cards in their deck and more cards in their waiting room. That way they get the deck refresh a lot quicker. You do 1 point of uncancelable damage. That part's important. Then your opponent keeps milling, attack with another one, pay 1, you keep milling, and then you attack with the other one, then you keep milling, keep that cycle going at least 3 times. So what's good about this card is that you need to have at least 1 stock to get 1 going. It's on attack, pay 1, you mill your opponent, and then you trigger, you get the stock. So the attack of 1 card will pay for the stock for the other card, and then that card will pay for the stock for the last card, and then you got 1 stock. Hopefully you win. You're probably gonna lose. So the condition is to have the event in the waiting room. So what does that do? The event is from the trial deck. Top check 4, add a character, then you ditch the rest. Okay, that's pretty good. You are going to be getting some mills to increase your deck speed and also toss your events into the waiting room if you need to. Also, this is going to give your Okayu's power, so you're good there. So the combo itself is pretty self-explanatory, and this does appear to be more of a secondary level 3 as opposed to your main level 3s. If you're running gamers, your main level 3 is probably going to be the Mio, although it's not really that great of a level 3. It's something though, it's not the best at all. Gamers probably has like one of the weaker level 3s, but what could you do? I'm still building it, I don't care. So again, secondary combo, you're not really going to be running this as your main combo, but if you're a dumbass like me, you're going to try and work something out to make this as your main finisher. So here we go. Snag events. You could use this Okayu that states that when this is played from hand and you have another Hololive character, this gains 2k power. And on attack, if you have Do You Want to Touch My Secret Belly in play, you could top check 3, add a card to your hand, and then you ditch the rest. Now this is amazing. You're going to be at 7k power on attack with the climax, and you get to grab a card. You can snag your level 3s, your events, maybe even a climax if you need it. You are going to be good in that aspect. Overall, this is a really great card, not just in this context, but just in general. The 0-0 Okayu states that once per turn, when you use an event, you give a character 1k power, and Brainstorm, pay 1, tap self, for each hit, top check 3, add a card. So this is another good way to snag the event, and generally anything that you need. And when you play the event, you give the character a nice little boost as well. Overall, this is good in any event-heavy decks. A phenomenal card that will be run in any deck is Together to the Future Fubuki. She's on play from hand, you give another character 1k5 power, and when this is sent to the waiting room, you could ditch a card. Top check 4, add a level 1 or higher card, then you ditch the rest. Absolutely amazing. After I praised this card until no end, everyone changed their prices from $12 to $20. I never knew I had this kind of power. Either way, the power pump is nice, but the second effect is super versatile. You could crash this card, let your opponent run it over, you could squish it. There's a lot of ways to get this effect off. You're running this in every deck, not just this combo. Level 1 or higher, the event's a level 1, you're covered. Here is Inukami Korone, on play from hand, pay 1, salvage the event, and climax combo. After this card's attack, if you have home date in play, you could burn 2, then return 1 climax from your opponent's waiting room back to their deck. The climax is a 1/1 and a choice when triggered from the trial deck. Why? This may sound counterintuitive to the combo because you may want to have less cards in your opponent's deck for the mill. The effect, on paper, is good. At the end of this card's attack, burn 2. But then you gotta send a climax back into the deck. So with climaxes, that's a higher chance of your opponent canceling. Run it for the first effect, if anything. How about another way to salvage the event? Juggling in Charge Mio gives 500 power to all of your characters, and when another Hololive character enters the stage, you top check your deck and you place it back. And when you play a climax, you could pay 1, salvage the event. I would rather have a card that is on play, ditch a card, salvage the event, but hey, we can't all be winners. Event support. Tsunomaki Watame states that on attack, top check your deck, and if it's a character with Hololive or an event, you give another character 3k power. Not the best, but it's still event support in some way. You can boost up some other cards and come on, you're gonna hit a majority of the time. A decent power pump, for sure. Cat Police Korone gains 3k power during your turn if you have another character, and on play from hand, you can ditch an event, you salvage a character. That's a pretty good way to get the event into your waiting room without playing it. This is good because if you are close to a deck refresh, you do not need to mill the cards. Also on top of that, there is no stock being played for a salvage. You could use that stock to pay for your Born Okayus. Fresh Korone is a level assist 500 forward, and both of her effects have the same cost. Ditch the event, rest this card. You can either search or salvage a character. Same with the last card, you're ditching the event without playing it with the risk of your deck refreshing. That way you can have all of the cards in your waiting room that you need. Also, you could snag your Okayus or, any other level 3 finisher from either your deck or your waiting room. Pretty damn solid. That is also a great alternative to playing the event because the event, you are only limited to the 4 cards on the top of your deck. This lets you grab whatever character you want. Fubuki states that on play from hand, top check your deck, and if it's a character or event, no soul reduction when side attacking. And on attack, you could give another character 1k power depending on how many characters you have. That's a lot of power. I would like if the soul reduction effect was one of those at the hand that you ditch a card. I think that would be better. Again, we can't all be winners. There's this Subaru that is honestly not worth running because you need to have red, blue, and yellow in your level zone for it to be worthwhile. 2 of those colors you are not running in gamers. This Mio states that when this card attacks, you give another character 1k5 power multiplied by however many events you have in the waiting room. And act, ditch a character, top check your deck, and if it's a character, this card gains the following ability. On attack, you can attack a back row character instead. This is not the best, and the coin flip is even worse because I would rather pay the cost after I do the coin flip. But it's cost then coin flip, or just be guaranteed to attack back row characters. Either way, this doesn't even give power to itself. It's another character. It's on a common. I can't get too mad. And that is all of the cards that interact with the event and anything that I do suggest running with this Okayu combo. That is a good amount of cards, but they're not really that good. The main reason is because, like I mentioned earlier, this is not your main finisher combo. This is a secondary level 3 combo for sure. You are a fool if you try to make this into a real combo, so why did I talk about this card? The effect is unique. I absolutely love this effect. Everyone is always talking about the best cards in the set and the chase cards, but there's still a lot of fun card effects in Weiss Schwarz that you may have glossed over. And on top of that, it's an Okayu card. Nyan. Either way, I'm going to work on a digital deck profile for gamers that is going to be out sometime in the future, so keep an eye out for that. And again, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more Weiss Schwarz news and content. Shout out to all my channel members over here, and I will see you in the next one.